The MAGA movement is in full-on meltdown mode right now.
Make some noise if you care about the Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
Because I think we need mass disclosure. I think we need more information. I know my demo. They are volcanic over this whole thing.
I'm not going to play with these anymore. MAGA hats are off. America First hats are on. Burn, baby, burn.
All because Donald Trump absolutely refuses to release the files about his longtime friend and fellow sex predator, Jeffrey Epstein. Now, not gonna lie, I love it when racist idiots get what's coming to them, but this story is much bigger than that, because unlike in the past when Trump did things his base opposed, this story isn't going away, and that could be very good news for Democrats, the left, and anybody who hates fascism. For the past several years, internet conspiracy theorists have been demanding to know the truth about Jeffrey Epstein, the accused billionaire sex trafficker who was friends with several rich and powerful men and who allegedly killed himself in prison before facing trial. Many of those conspiracy theorists, who are huge Donald Trump supporters, have come from the far right. Trump even promised to release the full Epstein files if elected.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
And for a while, it seemed like he might make good on that promise. His attorney general, Pam Bondi, even brought a handful of MAGA influencers to the White House and trotted them out with binders of what she called the first phase of the Epstein files, and then went on Fox News in February saying this.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Are we going to see any evidence from what he recorded? Because he had all of his homes wired with recording devices.
What you're going to see hopefully tomorrow is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information.
She also said this.
The FBI, they're reviewing, there are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn.
And this.
Everything's going to come out to the public. The public has a right to know. Americans have a right to know.
But then last week, Trump and Bondi dramatically flip-flopped on those promises. They quietly released this 2-page memo that claimed there was no client list, that Epstein definitely killed himself, nobody else is going to be prosecuted, and this is the end of the matter. Only it's not. That memo, which basically reaffirmed everything the government has already said, set off a firestorm inside MAGA world. Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino even reportedly got into a heated argument with Bondi and almost resigned over the whole thing. Bongino, a MAGA nutcase whose only qualification for that FBI job was that he had a podcast, harped on the Jeffrey Epstein story for years.
You wondering why we're not hearing more about this Epstein case? I mean, the guy was only connected to just about every major player in the swamp internationally, and yet you don't hear much about it. And what the hell are they hiding with Jeffrey Epstein? Why do they want to make this Jeffrey Epstein story go away so bad? Because the people in charge of this global cabal of idiots out there trying to hide the truth don't want you to hear about this story and have the power to censor it.
So understandably, Trump's memo has gone over like a lead balloon with his most steadfast supporters.
What on earth is going on?
Pam Bondi needs to be fired. Who is rolling this out? The little rascals?
Trump has tried to quiet the storm by defending Bondi, but so far his most devoted base isn't buying it, and that is a huge deal. That's because despite its oversized grip on the Republican Party, the MAGA movement is actually pretty small, and Donald Trump can't afford to lose any of it. According to recent polling, only 16% of American adults self-identify as MAGA. But that group is super highly engaged and is usually in lockstep with Trump and his neo-fascist policy agenda. Like when he said,
I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay?
These are those voters.
It's like incredible.
But that base alone isn't enough to win elections. But with a little support from independents, drummed up by relentlessly talking about affordability and inflation in 2024, it's enough to win the White House and Congress. But the reverse is also true. If Trump loses even a little bit of his core support for MAGA, Trump's coalition will lose. Pair that with his continually sinking approval rating, and Trump, an already unpopular guy, becomes more and more vulnerable. And that's vitally important going into the midterms next year. Right now, Democrats only have to flip 3 seats to take back control of the House, where they could significantly block Trump's radical agenda. They could scale back ICE, halt Trump's dismantling of the federal government, and use the subpoena power to make the Trump administration's life a living hell. Steve Bannon even predicted that Trump's refusal to give up the Epstein files will cause Republicans to lose 40 seats in the House. Not to mention, Trump's unpopularity and unforced errors could put the Senate back in play too. The Senate map is stacked against the Democrats in 2026, but recent developments in Texas, Georgia, and North Carolina are all giving Democrats a renewed hope of making a run for both houses. And taking back control of one or both houses of Congress may save our country. That's because there are basically only 3 checks on a president's power: the Congress, the judiciary, and the states. With the Supreme Court working to make sure this president can act like a king, and a majority of states dominated by Republican governors, basically all that's left to stop Trump is Congress. And if Democrats can't take back Congress, who knows what Trump will do in the next 4 years, or if he'll even leave the White House. But this MAGA civil war over Epstein is a real crack and a real opportunity Democrats can and should exploit to take back Congress and save our republic. For Notice News, I'm Andrew Springer.